In Abbots Bromley, in Staffordshire, there's a church called St Nicholas's, and inside this church you'll see on the wall a selection of very old reindeer horns with wooden heads. These horns are part of the Abbots Bromley Horn Dance, which is widely regarded as one of Britain's oldest traditional dances and amongst the longest surviving medieval rituals in England. This traditional dance is done every September in the village of Abbots Bromley, and it starts early in the morning with the horns being removed from the wall, blessed in the church, and then they go out in the village, around to the farms, up to Blithfield Hall, and they dance and do the ritual until about 8:30 in the evening. The first known record of the horn dance dates back roughly to the Bartholomew Fair in 1226, although many historians believe that the dance existed long before this. And there's a unique feature, which is the 6 sets of reindeer antlers used by the performers. And interestingly, one of these antlers has been carbon dated to around 1065. Several theories exist about how the horns arrived in Staffordshire. One suggestion is that they were native to Scotland, as they didn't go extinct there until between 1000 and 1200 AD, which matches the dates given in the carbon dating. Another thought is that Viking invaders, who hunted reindeer in Scandinavia, may have brought them to the region, and this theory is intriguing because the Vikings had a strong cultural association with horns and antlers, and they were often used in their ceremonial practices. The actual meaning behind the Abbots Bromley Horn Dance has long been a subject of speculation. Scholars have proposed several theories about the ritual's origins, ranging from pagan fertility rites to medieval celebrations of hunting rites. A popular idea is that the dance began as a winter solstice ritual, celebrating fertility and abundance, which would explain the association of antlers. While the exact beginning of the dance is unclear, the earliest written reference comes from Robert Plott's Natural History of Staffordshire, which was published in 1686. According to Plott, the dance had already been performed for years before the English Civil War in 1642, and a mention of a hobby horse performance in Abbots Bromley from 1532 suggests that the tradition was already ancient by that time. Historical references also reinforce the dance's connection to ancient hunting and fertility traditions, such as William Shakespeare's As You Like It features imagery of deer hunting traditions, while Anthony Mundy's play, The Death of Robert Earl of Huntingdon in 1598, contains a character, Friar Tuck, carrying a stag's head and dancing, which echoes the imagery of the Abbots Bromley dancing. The theory of the hunting rites dates back to the reign of King Henry I in 1100 AD, possibly performed to celebrate the granting of the hunting rights to the local people. However, many people doubt this theory because of the pre-Christian elements that are in the dance. The dance is performed annually on Wakes Monday, which is the first Monday after the first Sunday following September the 4th. And the day begins early. The dancers go to the church and the reindeer antlers are stored there throughout the year. They receive a blessing, and then the performers, which comprise of 6 deer men carrying the horns, traditionally men, although women are involved. Then there's a fool, a hobby horse, a boy carrying a bow, a musician, of which there's 2 now, and there's a boy with a triangle, again there's 2. And they begin their day-long journey through the village and up to the surrounding farms and then up to Blithfield Hall. The roles and costumes in the horn dance combine symbolism and theatricality. The 6 horn bearers are central to the performance, but they are joined by other characters. The fool, who carries a stick with a pig's bladder attached, adds a humorous element by playfully striking onlookers. And then there's Maid Marian, who is traditionally played by a man dressed as a woman, and he carries a cup and a stick which were banged together as a symbol of fertility, but they don't bang them together anymore. Then there's the hobby horse, a central figure in the dance who used to hold a bow and arrow, but these have been reassigned to the bowman, who now represents Robin Hood. And the reindeer horns, some which weigh over 25 pounds, are mounted on wooden deer heads attached to poles. And these ancient artefacts, which are combined with the costumes, which were redesigned in the 19th century by the vicar's wife, provide a real connection to England's past. And originally, the antlers used to be banged together, like stags locking horns during a fight. But they don't do this anymore due to the age of the antlers. During the horn dance, the performers visit Blithfield Hall as one of the stops in the day-long journey. Blithfield Hall is a grand Grade 1 listed country house, with its origins tracing back to the 14th century, although much of the current structure was completed in the 16th century, and it overlooks Blithfield Reservoir. For centuries, Blithfield Hall has been home of the Bagot family, and the family has been associated with the Bagot goat, which is a rare breed. And legend has it that these goats were brought to Britain from the Crusades by Sir John Bagot in the 14th century. And although the breed's exact origins are disputed, the Bagot goat has been linked to Blithfield Hall ever since. And these goats, with their distinctive black and white markings, have become a symbol of the Bagot family and the wider region. The goat's not just a decorative element of the estate, it's one of the oldest identifiable breeds in Britain, and over time it became a rare breed, surviving largely due to the efforts of the Bagot family to maintain their heritage. The Bagot family can trace their lineage back to Hervey Bagot, who was granted lands in the area by William the Conqueror following the Norman conquest in 1066. Over the centuries, the family became influential landowners in Staffordshire and have been instrumental in preserving the region's history, including the horn dance. The horn dance did face potential disruption during the English Civil War in 1642, and to protect the horns from being lost or damaged, they were hidden inside the church. And local superstition says that the reindeer horns should never leave the village, and to this day, they never have. But war has never stopped the dance from being performed. Even in World War I, 3 soldiers were released from the front to return to Abbots Bromley and perform the dance, ensuring that the tradition continued, even in the darkest of times. And to honour this, during the 100th anniversary of World War I, 3 dancers wore the World War I uniforms as a tribute to the soldiers that came back, and this meant that the dance has been continually done year after year. The horn dance may be a local custom, but it has influenced British culture far beyond Staffordshire. Folk revivalists in the 1940s, such as the Thaxted Morris Men, have incorporated versions of their dance into their performances. In 2019, Royal Mail even featured it in a set of stamps celebrating Britain's unusual customs. The Abbots Bromley Horn Dance is a fascinating and enduring piece of Britain's cultural history. Whether its roots lie in ancient fertility rituals, medieval hunting celebrations, or a combination of both, the dance has captured participants and spectators for over 800 years. And the continued celebration of this unique tradition, reinforced by the involvement of historical states like Blithfield Hall and families such as the Bagots, serves as a living link to England's ancient past. And this dance offers insight into the power of community, superstition, and rituals that bind people to their heritage, and this makes it a timeless symbol of England's rich folklore landscape. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do love local history, then make sure you check out some of my other videos and my website, which is The Red Haired Stokey.